Remix. Remix. Remix.
Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. And I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Thank y'all for tuning in. In case y'all didn't know, we got the bomb right here. About to drop it with y'all. And we got the crew coming through. And yes, let's start off with one member that you know for a minute. And she is the one that called Jackie Luma. Oh, I didn't have the echo. That's right. Luma. Hold on.
Not
Luma.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh man.
It's all right. It's that kind of morning for all of us. Cause
take another sip of this right here in my Remix Morning mug that y'all should be using.
How many ounces is this mug? How many ounces is this?
Questions I cannot answer right now. I'm not too bad at math, but the whole ounces and pounds and I never was too good at that. Or decimals.
That's good to know. I mean, not like I was any better at it because I got a serious mental block with math. I still do, and I realize at this point it's all up here.
Trigonometry is triggering. Big up to Second Stories. Are you new YouTube member? So
hey,
big up.
Welcome
to the crew. Let's see. Jackie, you look spry today.
Thank you. I don't feel spry, but we got to be out in these streets. So everything we talked about yesterday, remixers, we're actually we are doing that today. Today at noon, we'll be out at the State Department agitating on behalf of Cuba. And then after that, we're going down to the National Mall where the opening game, I believe, of the World Cup is beginning today. They're broadcasting. Yeah, they're broadcasting the World Cup on the jumbotrons on the National Mall. That's where the people are. That's where we're going to be talking about boycott the World Cup and boycott the U.S. And honestly, that whole conversation about sport yesterday was so great.
Oh,
because watching that game last night. No, I don't care about neither one of them teams.
Oh my!
I am not a huge basketball fan anymore, but that game last night.
Listen,
ooh,
29 points, you're down and you come back. Like what happened in the first half when you was playing like a certain coach? What are you doing right now? Why aren't you calling the timeout and saying, "Listen, let's get back to what we was doing"? I mean, 29 points. Yeah, New York came back. There you go.
But you know what? I gotta give it. I gotta give it to. Look, I'm a typical East Coast New York fan. New York sports franchise hater. I do not like the Yankees. Just do not like the Yankees. Honestly, don't pay attention to the Knicks too much. But I give credit where credit is due. The hype for the Knicks, it's not hype. That was gorgeous. That was a beautifully played second half. But I also got to give it to the Spurs because I think what we're seeing, and I don't even care about basketball all that much, but that's a young team.
Yeah.
And as good as they are now, oh dear God.
You're gonna see them for a minute. Like right now, I'm kind of excited because you got Oklahoma City looking nice over there in the West Coast. You got Spurs looking nice. Who knows what's gonna happen to the Lakers with who's gonna add to that team? It's pretty on and cracking now. Like you seen the old guard like kind of fading away now with the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant, the Curry, and now you see the new new boy, young gunners coming through. So,
Every time I hear that man's name, I
which one?
smell some nasty Steph Curry. What is
What?
that political reasons? Not but
Oh, okay.
see, this is I.
Listen,
It,
man, they
you
they
got to
not.
call out the politics. They are what they are. Even as you
Yeah,
can recognize, Steph Curry is
greatness.
that's talent.
Yeah,
That's talent.
yeah.
But he's a crystal fascist Zionist pig.
Mm,
So you
mm.
know,
I wonder, do they know, or they just step into these arenas and just go with the crowd? Like, who's around them to tell them what they doing ain't right?
oh, I mean that paycheck. I
And he
mean,
just signed a new deal with some with a Asian sneaker company.
well, but before that, he signed a deal that's directly connected to Israel.
Yeah,
So you
like
know,
like, but ain't that the thing? Like with these corporations, you don't know who's linked to who, right?
yes, you can.
Not
Yes, you can.
everybody does.
If you want to know, you can know.
If you
I
want to
mean,
know.
because there are people that actually put that information out on what, and we talk about it all the time.
Hmm.
But people don't want to listen to us because we're crazy. We're not satisfied. We complaining all the time. If you don't like it here, why don't we leave? Doggone it! I don't. I mean,
I mean,
that's that's what you get, and you got to tell it anyway.
so what has BAP ever thought about, or is, I don't know if any organizers have put together a list of who not to and who to fuck with?
Oh God, no, you can't do that.
Why not? I mean, if because people are uninformed of who's who, right? It's like you don't know. One day it's you not messing with Chick-fil-A, and next day you not messing with Home Depot, and
Oh
then you're
no, no,
like, oh
no.
well, let me go to Lowe's, and then you find out, oh well, Lowe's is now messing with. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know.
You do know,
You don't.
and yet you do know, and it's not one day you're not messing with these companies. It's like, oh, you find out that these companies all either have Zionist investors directly invest in the what do you call it, the military industrial complex, with their 401k packages, if they even
Mm,
have them, in their stock portfolios. You learn about these things. But here's the thing, and we were talking about this also, in another conversation. Like, yeah, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, especially now when you realize how deeply entrenched everything that is anti-human and inhuman is all woven into everything in this system. So if you're a fan, like going back to the sports analogy,
mm-hmm,
if you're a fan of the sport, I think you can enjoy the game while not spending your money propping up the institution, right? And as long as you're criticizing the politics, I think to some degree that is true also of everything else, like Home Depot. And like, there
mm-hmm,
are some places that, because when the Target boy, when they call for the Target, and this is just a
mm-hmm.
comment, it's not, we do have to take into account that there are some things that people have more of a difficult time adhering to, because that might be the only resource they have for anything,
Yeah.
right? So everybody's situation isn't the same, but I think that speaks more to the fact that we are not organized to meet that gap between where we're calling for people to be in recognizing the problems with these corporations, because that's what we're talking about now, corporations,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to provide what people are not going to get when they walk away from these things that might be critical. And I'm not saying the NFL is critical. I'm saying things like boycotting a retail store that sells food,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, this is why Walmart boycott couldn't work,
Yeah, because
because
it's
in a lot of places the only grocery store is Walmart.
so
So
what.
you gonna tell people not to shop for groceries?
Yeah. So what about angel investors? People that just have a lot of money and then somebody just whispers in their ear, "This is a good investment." They're probably not doing the research to find out who's back in these different places or different things. I'm just saying, like, I don't think people do the research. You should, but
You're
if you're
right.
not, but the thing is, if you're not looking for it, right? If you're not looking for it, you're not
Well,
aware of a bunch of stuff like we are political people
well,
that's into politics, then you just be like, okay, bam, and then they tell you, oh, well, we'll put a little money towards a school, and everything looks good. You don't know, so I don't
mhm.
completely fault some of these people. Yes, you should do more research if you're looking for it. That's why I'm saying it needs to be somebody in some of these camps that's like, listen, you should look for that. So back to what Ricky was saying, as in, what do we think BAP sits around and does? And I'm just thinking like it would not be a bad idea to have a list of
Well,
certain people that we know that are Zionists and stuff like that, so we can know. Because I don't know everybody.
how you don't know when a whole APAC and a whole J Street exists,
You're
and
in that
and they're not hiding, and
Jackie.
the whole, huh?
You're in that world, Jackie. People that's not in that world don't know. So why not inform the people
But that
that
is
don't
what we
know?
do. That is what we do. We
That's
don't
what
need to
I
make
thought.
a list.
That's what I thought
That
y'all
is,
did
no,
too.
no, we don't need to make a list because this is what organizing helps you to understand. We don't need to make a list. We're not in the business of sitting around making a list. We are in the business of raising the consciousness of the people and organizing the people through that raised
Ain't
consciousness. We
ain't
don't
that
need
ra-
a list.
ain't that
There's
raising
no
con-
list.
but I don't think you listen. Ain't that raising consciousness by providing who is Zionist and who is not, so we can know
What do
who to
you mean?
support and who not? That's common sense right there.
That's not, no, you talk to people. You don't have to, you don't have to give people a list. Didn't we already establish that people don't do their own research? People don't look into stuff. Why are you going to give people a list? The first encounter you have with somebody, you're going to give them a notebook full of names of First of all, that's you can't do that. So
I mean, well, we'll continue to
that's
keep supporting these people and not
you
knowing,
can't.
and then we'll get talked about if we go do it. Oh, look at
No,
them.
that's
They're
not.
Zionists because they're supporting this. But shit, I didn't know.
No, you didn't know because you didn't want to listen to us when we told you.
Everybody not watching this show.
And that's because everybody does not want to watch this show because we're not the only people talking about this. There are people all over the country having these conversations about Zionism and capitalism and imperialism and all, and people don't want to know. That's the thing you're not saying. That's the
Uh,
thing you're not saying, right?
what?
Yes, there are some people who need who are not reached. Yep, yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Okay. Well, what
But,
about
but
Kim Brown? Wouldn't
mhm.
she? Kim, wouldn't you like a Zionist list so you know who to and who not to support?
Isn't that already a thing? BDS?
I don't know. Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Put me on.
Go on the Googles. Boycott, divest, sanctions.
See
Or go. Maybe don't do Google. Google's in
now,
on it.
now
Go
do
to
you think
go.
you think your cousin down the street who doesn't is not in politics would know this?
Would they care?
Would they know this?
I
You're
don't.
in this world, so you look to see who's the Zionist, right?
Well, there's no ethical consumerism under capitalism. So, I mean, you can try your best and you should try to make efforts to not support companies that support Zionism, but it's going to be impossible. It's like, imagine if I spent all my time cussing out disrespectful niggas. What else would I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else? Where else would my time go?
I cross your arms, Jackie.
Mm-mm.
Man,
No,
sometimes
no.
I just feel like y'all don't get it, so I got to call on Kamal K. Franklin.
True that
Yo,
indeed.
Not gonna uncross my arms because now it's
Kamal,
just gonna get worse.
what's good?
Chauncey! Oh
I'm
no,
getting
he's revolutionary Barge when he shows up. When you're not here, you are Chauncey. So you
Wow.
I'm getting beat up
Wow.
over here, Kamal.
For what?
He's
Not you.
I thought
know you
I
didn't say
thought I
nothing
came
wrong
up
or
with a
inappropriate.
I thought I came up with a good idea. I was like, listen, man, let's make sure we have a list of all these Zionists and know who we should and shouldn't support.
I think there's something called the BDS movement.
God damn, all y'all know this. Why am I the only one who don't know this?
Yeah, it's
Ask
been
yourself
happening
that
for-
question. Yeah.
You want it? You sure you want you?
Ask yourself.
Are we sure we want to ask
And
that question?
What I'm saying is, y'all are in this world. Y'all know this. So, for those who are not in this world, why not help to inform them so we can't look at people like who we just was talking about as a Zionist, Steph Curry. But people like Steph Curry that don't know.
Well,
So we won't be like, oh, he's a Zionist. Don't support him. The dude might not know.
No, there's always an attempt to try to inform someone who's ignorant of something. I concur. But then after you try a few times, you have to make the judgment of whether or not that person is willfully ignorant or they just don't give two fucks because they're making money on the other side. And so then they should be going up against including in the Zionist.
Oh no!
Oh, look at that.
Got him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Don't freeze,
Am I
my
back?
friend.
Am I back?
Let,
Am I back?
let me not be the one that tries the fucked up accent. Thank you. For once, thank you.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get Kamal.
Our donation box. I got many things to talk about, so don't try to cut me off.
No, I was gonna say probably shit could
What,
be.
you can do what? Is it what? Is my thing working? Do I need to move?
Please don't try to cut you off and you cutting yourself off.
That's true.
Reboot and come back. We'll see you in a second.
Sounds like
All
a
right.
reboot.
Yeah, it's been a minute for him, so you know. I get it.
Time. Come on,
Ladies.
at his computer since the last time he'd been on the morning show.
I know.
It's probably up the dust coming out the side.
All right. Well, you know, I'm learning something new every day, and I hope the people out there are doing the same. And I hope they go do their research and find out who's who and what's what. Other than that, man, this is our cover for the day, 007. I picked that one right there because I was just thinking about how, you know, they was talking about a lot of people want him to play 007. But the funny thing is that one comedian was like, what, are you going to go into a European place and play a spy? Like, they ain't going to know that that's the spy right there when he's. Well, I was like, if he came to America or went to the Caribbean as a spy, it could work. But you can't do it in Europe. You can't be a black spy in Europe.
Who is he?
Idris.
Idris
Oh.
Elba.
Yeah.
Black. Oh, okay. Hasn't that campaign been a decade plus now? They're trying to get Idris to get cast as James Bond.
Yeah, they trying, but I don't know.
Well, I think we need to stop actually because I mean, if people wanted to give him the role, they would have gave it to him by now. And who was it recently? I think it was Diallo. I came across a Diallo reel, and he was talking about how, you know, something about us. Why do Africans seek the recognition from white establishments, from white institutions? Like Idris is great regardless of whether or not he plays James Bond or not. Wasn't it Method Man who was crying on goddamn Instagram because New Edition didn't get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I'm like, sir, what's the
And it is true.
I need y'all to quit. Who cares what white folks think? Jesus.
Yeah. And then Idris, just as much as I love to look at his chocolate self, but then he just accepted a knighthood from
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so now you have to call him Sir Idris.
Not Sir Idris.
Man, I ain't calling you Sir shit. You clown.
Like
ass.
yes, sir,
Anyway.
no, sir.
So is getting knighted like getting those ribbons here in America from the president?
Ribbons in the sky.
You mean like the Medal of Honor or Freedom?
Medal of Honor, yeah.
No, yeah, it's a ceremonial thing. I mean, at best I'll say it's a ceremonial thing that people people advocate or want to have. It's almost like getting your star in Hollywood. I'm gonna say it's more like that. It's like some recognition thing that people want to have because again, like some white man takes a sword and goes like this.
Yeah, you're a knight.
You're right. You
with us.
Now you got to go.
You've shown yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if the knighthood still means that when the crown calls you, you know, to defend the crown,
Right.
you have to answer because that's what it meant back in the day of actual knights. That was, you got knighted just before they gave you a sword to go kill people for the crown. So
I went to see
really
the Crown. I went to see the Crown, y'all. I was in Europe. I was in France, and I was in England, and I went to Buckingham Palace.
Which one of your relatives you visit in there?
And they said close the border. Get these. This is why. Oh no, and not even to be funny, not funny, definitely not funny. But can we talk later about what's going on in Belfast, Ireland? Come out, you were just there recently. I don't know if you were in Belfast, but no, our people are in serious danger right now because the whites are rampaging in a terrible way. So no, we got to talk about that.
A few days before I got there was a huge story about some white boy who was killed. I guess he got into a fight with an immigrant person who might have been mentally
not immigrant, brown. He was a British national, but he
okay.
was Sikh or I'm sorry, Sikh.
Yeah. And some whatever they got, the cops came, broke it up. The white guy said he got stabbed. Cops didn't believe him at first, and they handcuffed him. And then they found out, oh no, he did. And so then they rushed him to the hospital, blah blah blah. But that took a few minutes. The white folks, the right-wing folks, started a White Lives Matter, All Lives Matter sort of movement, or they already have one, I guess, but then they ignited it over this incident, and they literally had thousands of people marching in the street. Huge story in Britain. So again, for people who are not oppressed, but who know how to use their majority power to, I want to say even win over, to get the media that they control anyway, to uplift their stories and make them sound like they're real stories. I mean, the way this was talked about, and I saw BBC News, it was actually like real contemplation about whether or not there was racism against white people in Britain.
Yeah.
Police are going too far in not protecting white people. It was like both sides. They had all the experts. They just made it sound like there was some real story here, kind of thing.
Two-tier system of policing are white people safe in Britain?
And of course, they had the black DA defending the system. Whatever their DA version is in Britain.
Yes.
So they have one of those defending the system and how it performed.
Oh, they got a cop Mala. Nice.
Yep.
Oh, I'm excited about this news. I think we should just go ahead and jump into the news. Let's go ahead and take a quick break and let's just jump into the news. There's so much to talk about, it sounds like. I love it. All right. Right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's do it. Let's do it like this.
I came to rap it up, do my things. I came to rap it up, do my things. I came to rap it up, do my things. I put me on the gram and remix thing. Remix thing. Remix thing. Remixing, whole time Wiley with the Pacino flow, Godfather Part 2, I came to win battle me, that's it. Disrespect, man, better slap on the chin. Man, a king with a top ball, Larry, man, a big DJ, Ox, Megan and Harry. Boss, yeah, man, a boss. I make it gamble like a choke.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 2019 with the artist called Wiley, featuring Sean Paul, Idris Elba, Stephon Don, and Nicki Minaj. The name of that song is Bossy. Yes, off the album Bossy Gang. All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and donate where at blkliberationmedia.org. Show your love, go ahead and get you some fly gear, you know what I'm saying? Get you a hoodie, get you a mug, thug it out, support. And we shall support you each and every week with some news that you regularly don't hear. All right, let's get back to it. Where? On the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
I thought that dude was Obama, like a young Obama or something.
Who?
That picture, the album picture. Don't he look like an...
Well, you know that was Idris rhyming right there.
No, I know. I like that song. I remember that video. I was like, oh, that song was nice.
It just be DJing, rhyming. I
You gotta
mean,
make that money. You gotta make that money.
I actually got a story about that back in when Justin's was open here, Puffy's Club on Peachtree. And one time Idris was DJing one night. He got so drunk that me and my homeboy Battle, we had to help him into his car because we was renting out the DJ equipment for him that night. And he was wasted. We had to help him get in the car. I was like, damn. I was like, I guess you can do it like that. But yeah, that's my Idris story.
He didn't have an
That's your
assistant.
Idris story?
Yeah. I got a couple. I was thinking about testing this AI stuff and doing some stories in my life, but I don't know. My kids said it should be better if I do it human. Anyway, make sure y'all tune in later at 11 for the DMX. Me and Kim Brown will be breaking down DMX. And tonight, if you are in Atlanta, I'll be doing this poetry joint tonight. So yeah, that's my life.
Where?
That's all the Knicks.
Yeah, we talked about
I just
it.
to switch a little
Yes,
bit.
we
I just
talked about that.
switched.
It's going to be in Decatur on Decatur Street, 552 Decatur.
I said, did you see the Knicks? Are you still talking about your thing?
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah, we did talk about it, and I told you we talked about the Knicks. You came a little late, but it was a great game last night.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah,
even though I don't know any of the players because I just started watching again like 20 minutes ago. I was like, oh, the Knicks and the stuff.
Same.
Kim, Knicks came back by 29 points, being down and won. That was one of the biggest leads ever.
So there's
the
still
biggest comeback ever in playoff history.
Yeah.
One of them.
It was impressive. It really was.
I don't think they beat Boston's number. I think Boston was 30 down. They was 29. Don't worry, I'm here.
But that was in playoff in the playoffs. I think.
Oh, not the finals. The biggest comeback in finals.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you're so right.
I can't. I don't know what the word is for basketball. I don't know because I don't watch basketball anymore. But I felt like I had to watch this series because I felt like this might be history here. So I'm glad I decided to watch this
Since
NBA
1973, and that you saw Dolan. Dolan has been the owner of the Knicks at least since the 80s because he was hated back then and he's hated now. He's had so much bad plastic surgery or something's going on. But when Trump,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's the owner of the Knicks, but he had Trump in game 3 at least. At least the thing that I loved is that he got booed. Absolutely crazy. Both him and Trump. So that was a lovely moment or whatever.
Oh, Dolan was the guy next to him, sitting there napping during the
probably.
Yeah, he was. He really
during his own team's. Okay.
So we go to game 5. Is game 5? So that was game 4. So the Knicks are up 3-1.
Yeah,
game 5 is in New York.
I don't know. Is it New York or is it in?
It's in San Antonio.
2-3-2
for the finals, but
it's going back to San Antonio.
That's gonna be sad.
Game 5 goes back to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And so what? I thought San Antonio had the first 2 games.
They did.
Had the next 2.
So
no, they changed the format, so it's not 2-3-2 anymore.
Nah, it's 2-2. Yeah, it's 2-2, and then
1-1-1.
Yeah.
Oh,
if it goes to it, really?
Oh
wow, that's why I don't watch this shit. All right,
that's why you don't watch it.
No, that's not why I don't watch it. I stopped watching NBA when my work schedule changed, and I was working nights, and where I was working didn't have, and I just lost interest. And then the Wizards have always been terrible. So,
oh my God, that's right. I remember they were the Washington Bullets.
They should go back to being the Bullets.
I know Bullets is a better name.
We tried to make them change that name. We tried. We meaning Black DC, all of us, the bougie blacks, the hood blacks, all the in betweens, the DL blacks, the apolitical blacks, the lumpen proletariat. Everybody.
There was one thing Black agreed on.
I remember
it really was.
I was in high school, my last year of high school. So I think they've been the Wizards for about 30 years now. And I remember in school, we was like the Wizards, like the Grand Wizards, like the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan Wizards. The fuck? Why are they naming the team the Wizards? But whatever. It's water under the bridge. Yeah, Doctor, step us into the news. Let's get to it. Good morning. How's everybody feeling? Today is June 11th, 6/11. Probably some significance in that. I don't know it though. It's the Remix Morning Show, Thursday morning edition. We got a full crew in front of you. Super friends in effect. Jacqueline Lukman, Kamau Franklin joining us with his erudite, beautiful self. I'm Kim. Ear Doctor's back there too. Remixers, y'all are in here also. Thank you so much for always tuning in, chiming in, chirping in, commenting in, chatting in. Drop us a like, drop us a what's up, some flame emojis, some hearts. I don't know. Let us know you like us if you could. Kamal's going to check your pockets before you leave. So you know what to do. I mean, run the bucks if you're able to. We certainly appreciate it. Head on over to blkliberationmedia.org or patreon.com/Black Liberation Media if you want to do some ongoing and sustaining support for the platform. We appreciate it. We don't have any shortage of news. Where would y'all like to begin? You want to stay across the pond and talk about the imminent threat that Black and brown people are under from the whites? I don't know how else to describe it. It's been described as racial pogroms. What does that mean? That means when the crackers go from house to house seeking out non-whites. So in this instance, they don't care if these folks are legal residents, asylum seekers. They do not care if you are Black or brown. In Belfast, I don't know if this is going on across the whole of Ireland or even across the whole of UK, but Belfast seems to be ground zero for this incident. It was sparked by a knife attack earlier in the week, alleged to have been committed by a Sudanese man who was in the country legitimately on an asylum claim, but he is alleged to have viciously attacked a white man who survived but is in critical condition. And I think part of this attack was actually caught on tape. And so it went viral, and then the flames are being fanned by the likes of Elon Musk and known British Klansman Tommy Robinson. All the best crackers are showing their whole ass right now. If y'all check your emails, it's possible I sent you an email, and in said email, it would be the last clip. Because when I tell you that Black and brown people had to flee their homes for their actual literal lives, I know we got some UK people in the chat, and we got some UK family members checking in. Please give us the goods. But it is nasty business in Britain right now. The whole of civilization. No, absolutely not.
I'm bringing it up right now.
Okay.
Are two Ugandan women, Sumaya and Stella. Last night, the two friends watched as cars burn and the mob get closer.
That is when they started burning the houses. Now, they put the next neighbor's houses on fire, and then the smoke was actually coming direct to our house.
Some rioters were going door to door, throwing petrol bombs, targeting migrants who looked like them. Sumaya and Stella hid upstairs for 4 hours.
The people were very many, the rioters were very many, so it wouldn't make any sense for us to open the door. So we stayed inside, but the smoke was too much, kinda. I wasn't feeling actually fine, but my friend here stayed by my side, and the ambulance people kept her updated, like, try to do this for her, do this.
Actually, she passed out. She passed out for like 30 minutes, and I got really so scared and traumatized because I was scared about the rioting and the people entering to our house. And here is my friend who has passed out. So I did not know what to do.
Stella, a Christian, and Sumaya, a Muslim, volunteer at a local church. In desperation, they called the police, their friends, their church. And by 10 p.m., it was Pastor Jack McKee who came to their house to try and save them. He had to negotiate with the rioters just to give him 10 minutes so he can get both women out of harm's way. They agreed only after he told them they were carers.
We literally had to go under hoses that were putting another fire out. So when I get into that home, there were two women, and they were totally traumatized. One of them was lying on the floor in an absolute traumatized state. The ambulance people had been working with her. They couldn't take her to the hospital because of what was going on in the streets, and also because the hospital situation was just busy.
Were they targeted because of their background, because of their skin color last night?
I would say they were targeted, yes, because people knew that living in that home, there were people who were black, and that was enough. I don't believe that people purposely went out last night to do what they did, but when you call people on the street to protest, some people are going to protest peacefully, and some are not.
Today in Belfast, supermarkets, barbers and mosques closed early, fearing they could be targeted next. Many will reopen soon, but the fear may last. Behind this window.
That's just a fraction. That's just a fraction of what people in Belfast, black and brown people, have been experiencing over the past 48 hours.
Now it's
Part of it I was
important
going
to. All right, go ahead, Kamal.
Oh, and I'd say quickly, part of it, again, we don't know who was out there, what people's particular views are, except knowing that they're white racists. I said it to say that, part of the shame of this, or some of the interesting part of this, is that this is Belfast, Northern Ireland, which is colonized by the British, that has a long history itself of fighting that colonization and actually taking on aspects of both the civil rights movement and underground movements. They have a long history of being on the side of colonized people. So part of that history, or part of that movement, of course, has gone domicile, particularly since, I guess, the Good Friday agreements, some now upwards of 30 years ago. So I think this is happening all over what I'm going to call the white world, where this right-wing ideology is becoming so dominant that even amongst folks who at one point, and again, I'm not sure what the ideology of the people who went out there were, who they sound like they're young people, so they may not be involved or know about some of the historical struggles. I have no idea. But the overwhelming majority of the white world is infected by, again, something they've always been infected by, but now is taking a larger rise, is this stronger right-wing politic. And when I was in France and in Britain, particularly France, you could see that conversations that I had with immigrants were that they felt endangered. And again, most of these immigrants are coming from places that were colonized by the white world, particularly the French or the British. So it's interesting to me that we're in this time period where this overt, again, white supremacy has taken hold, even in places that we thought were potentially partners in struggle. So again, I don't want to paint a broad brush, and I'm sure there's going to be left-wing folks in Ireland, Northern Ireland in particular, who are going to have something to say and hopefully try to do something to get to some of these right-wing folks. But I think even some of them that I spoke to a few weeks ago at another conference were talking about how again, their own issues of joblessness or unemployment or capitalism impacts their society, how they're also pointed to direct their anger towards immigrants, particularly Black immigrants. And so I think this is like this new phenomenon that, again, is something that we already know. We always say we're on our own. And so we should always remember that, you know what I mean? Even if we have some allies, those folks can turn fast, or allies are just not strong enough to control the masses of their own folks or whatever, just like we are not in a position necessarily always to control the actions of the masses of our folks or whatever.
And I think we also have to acknowledge that, like, just like we have a comprador class among our people here, there's a comprador class, or a class that is beholden to the colonialists, to the occupiers, and that's been an issue in Northern Ireland too, because there are loyalists to the crown in Northern Ireland, and there are some, and they're Irish, because but they're middle upper class Irish. So there's that pesky class issue. So they're just like, other comprador classes. They're protecting their interests, their economic interests, and of course, in typical right wing fashion, all the brown people threaten all of the white people stuff. uh, and they're just turning their attention to immigrants now, to where in generations before, it was those evil IRA upstarts that who are ungrateful for the grace given to them by the crown, that kind of bullshit. So that, yeah, that Northern Ireland is it was interesting seeing it reported, the first reports, because it's like, okay, which people are we talking about in Ireland? We need to be clear.
Yeah, whether it's Protestant youth who
Yeah,
are loyal to the British, whether or not the Catholic youth who, again, young people today, they may not have the same political ideology as their fathers and mothers did. And when they talk about the struggle, so whether or not they're just rogue youth doing stuff, we don't know. But it's obviously it's an interesting place for it to happen in,
yeah,
because of the history of Northern Ireland. But points to the dangers again of being black and brown anywhere, um, in on the continent of Europe. And in France in particular, I had at the time when I first landed there, and we were sort of riding around, in my head, it's sort of joking around. It's like, oh, yo, this is like New York. I was like, I had no idea there were so many Africans and Arabs up in France. Is this why the whites are mad? So this is, I was like, yo, this is why those crackers are because in Paris, a good amount, and the surrounding areas of Paris, so a good amount of the population, again, brought there by war, by colonization. You have a lot of folks who are there from what's the that they kicked out the French, Algeria. So a lot of folks
no,
are Algerians. A good amount of Algerians are there. Senegalese folks from so-called Francophone Africa. So it's a good amount of people who are there from places that the French have colonized. And now the whites are again upset, and there's these whole large right-wing anti-immigrant movements happening again all across Europe, which are now in conjunction with the same movement that's happening here in the United States. Again, these things have always been here, but they're surfacing to the level of hysteria and a certain level of danger that I think we haven't seen exactly like this for a while. And it's all coming to fore, and met some comrades in France who are organizing, but again, who are very scared because not only these rogue groups, but a lot of these places, whether so it's like similar to here, whether they identify as liberal or conservative, but the governments basically kowtow to these right wing interests and are cracking down on so-called immigration and or illegal immigration, both legal and so-called illegal, because they're unlike here. Well, supposedly unlike here, where it's hard to take away somebody's citizenship, supposedly, right? There are no constitution. There's no, you can more easily, let's say, be stripped of your citizenship in some of these countries. And these right wing folks, and again, these conservative and moderates are going or using those tools to try to strip people of either their legal, so their so-called legal status in these countries to again appease what they see as a sort of right wing ideology of kicking out the immigrants and reclaiming Europe for Europe, as they continue to colonize, right? So as Macron goes to English-speaking Africa and tries to tell the Kenyans that they're Pan-Africanists.
It's nasty work, and we've seen, like, this has just been the latest in I mean, I don't watch Britain and UK politics super close, but over the past, let's say, decade, with the Brexit vote, which the UK voted to separate from the EU, that was based off of not wanting migrants coming, and then the right wing calls it a small boat crisis, where a lot of black and brown migrants come to France first and then get on a little boat and sail across the English Channel and arrive and try to get status. At the same time, the Windrush generation is also under attack in the UK. They're trying to send people from the Isles, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, the former British colonies, back after they had given them citizenship and status when they needed them post World War II. And most of the NHS is staffed by black and brown people. So it's like the snake is eating its tail. When it comes to these colonizers, I wouldn't say over there, but here also. But the crackers over here are cheering them on. Fucking JD Vance and the audacity of Elon Musk. Nigga, you are 3-generation immigrant, motherfucker. You ain't from here. Your daddy ain't from here. Your granddaddy ain't from where. Like, knock it off. But my tiny concern, I'm definitely troubled and concerned for the people across the pond, our black and brown brothers and sisters. But I don't want these American whites to get no fucking ideas. You think y'all niggas gonna come house to house and do what? Like, they can go house to house in the UK because it ain't America. Come house to house in the United States looking for black and brown people. You're gonna find them, and they're gonna be waiting for you.
Well, and that's why we got to get organized right now, right? Because that's not a foreign history here, right? The so-called 1919 riots, other things that happened during the 50s and 60s, going to people's houses, pulling them out their homes, lynching black folks.
Yep.
So those things are not like unremarkable here in the States. And again, I think we have this class of people, this generation of folks who are not used to that kind of white racism, right? And they take it for granted that they live in a world where that type of white racism they have not seen in terms of white right, maybe since even then. Like I was thinking in New York, and some of the when they were chasing black folks out of particular communities, but even then that was chasing black folks out of what they consider to be their communities. It's been a long time since the whites have been aggressive enough to try to do exactly what you're talking about, Kim. But I think this is a period where the ways in which the federal and local governments are acting, that they would actually protect, attempt to protect white pogroms on black communities. And so I agree with you. I think black folks will fight back, but there's a level of preparation that has to take place. And sometimes we see self-organized. So I think there was a couple of times in a year or two ago where there were some talk about, or there were some whites who were marching towards a black community, and that community got organized pretty fast, right? People came out, they stood guard, they closed off certain avenues so that folks couldn't come in and come out. And for days, they guarded their community and telling the fucking cops, y'all can't come in here. So that's the type of thing that we need to, if we can't self-organize it, at least putting out, like you said, the propaganda to be ready for the possibility of those things happening. Because I think the whites here are crazy enough to think that they can do that again. They remember their history like that.
I'm sorry. What do we think ICE raids are?
Touche.
That all of this is happening right now. All of it. The going house to house, all these chuds and these little masks, fat, and that's I don't have a problem with overweight people. These particular chud, fat, overweight, can't walk a mile, let alone chase somebody down. They got to get the younger, fitter ones to chase after people. They're doing that right now. I mean, they raided a whole apartment building in Chicago, ran those people out of that building, destroyed the building, and walked away. And who has done anything to the people who left? And the people in that building, black and brown folks. And that was in Chicago, I think.
So what's the distinction between the deputized whites and this rabble that was in Ireland, right? Because that wasn't the police coming to black and brown people's doors.
There,
Pulling,
well,
burning houses
I
down.
I don't consider these pigs in ICE the police either. They they the Klan, just like they Chad and Tyler and them back from Manassas, you, you know, and old school Rockville. It's the same people. It is the same people. It's the same people not refusing orders that are coming from this regime to do the things that they have done in Venezuela, that they're doing to Cuba, that they're trying to gin up to do to they think they're going to do to China, that they're doing to Iran. It's the same people who sat on that jury and found Carmelo Anthony guilty. It's the same people who sat on the other jury and found that Chow Pig not guilty. Right, it's the same people. It's the same people who made it illegal almost to say anything truthful about Charlie Kirk. This is the same people. It's the same people who argued that what's his name, the one who Rittenhouse. It's the same people who argued that Rittenhouse had a right to do what he did and celebrated him. It's the same people. Fascists are the same all over the place. They are the same. And whatever uniform they have, it doesn't make any difference really. Because these people in ICE were just your average incel sitting in somebody's basement, a lot of these folks. And they didn't have a job. And to Kamal's point, part of their complaint was they don't have a future in this country. AI is taking over everything. Women run everything. There's no place for us. I can't get a decent job outside of McDonald's, right? So instead of getting together and fighting the capitalists, it's the immigrants' fault because, some 20-year-old influencer who lives in his parents' basement told 150,000 people through his YouTube channel that it's the immigrants' fault. So these are the same people. These are the Confederates. These are the colonialists. These are the Klan. These are the Nazis, the young Nazis. They're all the same. It doesn't matter what the uniform is. It's the same ideology, and they've been talking to each other and organizing for years, all over the place. So for me, there's no difference in any of them.
Great.
Well, she
Moving
said that.
You guys can check my email if you like, or if you want to talk about Carmelo Anthony, we can go ahead and get right into that because obviously, I saw a lot of posts from community movement builders come out, and I saw clearly that your organization was keeping close tabs on what was happening with this trial. And I didn't watch the trial very closely, but I was surprised to hear that he had a public defender. That was surprising. Also surprising that his lawyer did not put him on the stand to give his version of events. Carmelo Anthony found guilty of murder, sentenced to 35 years. I believe an appeal has already been lodged, but I don't know, Kamau. I don't. It didn't look like great lawyering from what I heard. But what were your thoughts about the trial and what are the next steps for this young man?
Yeah, I'll say we've been involved in the case for over a year in the background, having a couple of meetings with his father, with Carmelo's father. I think we could not work out a common strategy. And again, this is, when someone's child is facing murder charges from a state that's obviously hostile, repressive, and you're not, this is your first time being involved in something like this. So my heart goes out to him, to the young man, to his family, who in their attempts at, tried to do what they could to protect their son. For us, I think we were one of several voices that were trying to give advice or strategy. And I think just at times the dad, in our opinion, decided to not listen to a strategy which we thought was a better strategy, which was to do early do interviews. What was it, like 8 or 9 months ago, to start doing interviews to attempt to get the narrative out there about what happened to him to a wider audience. And I think his legal advice, and maybe he had a public defendant, but he also at one point did have private attorneys. Um, so I don't know what happened at that stage in terms of the actual trial. To my knowledge, he had a private attorney, so I'm not 100% sure about that. But the attorney's advice, as most attorneys give in terms of defense attorneys, is to do everything at the trial. Again, there was access to a videotape that demonstrated what took place. And we wanted that videotape to be out in the public way before the trial. And the attorney's advice was not to do that because it might upset the judge. And we were like, we don't care. But we listened to the dad, right? So, and again, this is not to say that any strategy that even we employed would have made the difference. I don't want to be clear about that. But we thought another more public strategy of interviews by the family and so forth could have at least helped garner some more support for Anthony. But remember, he was facing all-white trial by an all-white jury in an area of Texas, which is obviously conservative in general, but very conservative in terms of where this incident took place. And so the chances being of a young Black person in America were always not on his side in terms of relying on some court system to come up with the right thing. And what you guys just said a few minutes ago, right? Zimmerman used stand your ground, self-defense. Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin, who actually attacked Trayvon Martin, and when Trayvon tried to get away, then used the idea of self-defense. In this case, Anthony was sitting there and approached and then attacked by several young white guys, big guys, football players, and defended himself, right? So the whole idea that this court system would work for us was ridiculous. It's not uncommon in these cases either to not have the defendant testify, because according to, jurisprudence here, it's proving the onus is the burden is supposed to be on the prosecution. And again, most defense attorneys believe that that's a burden that's going to be respected, or is an actual influence on the jury to suggest that the prosecution has to prove their case. And it's not a good idea to put the defendant on. So that's not that unusual in a case like this, but it's also, it's a different kind of strategy to put on somebody who can tell their tale, right? And knowing the probable outcome, I don't think it would have been a bad idea to put them on. But that's not unusual in defense cases. The last thing I want to say is, this case never received in the Black community the type of support it should have received. And a lot of that is because we are conditioned to not support people who survive and/or who defend themselves against violence. No NAACP, none of the old school civil rights advocates were there. Nobody who could bring national attention to this case for the Black community came out.
Didn't Ben Crump show up for this young man, and his family early on?
Ben
Maybe
Crump, if he did, he showed up at the last minute. There was no mainstream coverage of mainstream for Black folks coverage of this story that, again, could have led the Black community to be far more supportive. Why? Because Anthony was not a martyr. He did not die. If Anthony was killed that day, we would have had marches in the streets potentially in the same way we did for Trayvon Martin, right? But we are conditioned to not support our people who survive, and again, who fight back through self-defense, the efforts of white people to kill them. In fact, we are coward to not support them. And I think that's exactly what happened here. Like the white narrative, including, again, Elon Musk, who himself tweeted about this case several times, the white narrative of a Black boy who stabbed an innocent white boy we believed that, or we said we're staying away from this en masse. And so there wasn't a lot of organizations that came out to support. We were one of the organizations. There were other local organizations, of course, that did it. Black Lives Matter Grassroots came out and supported, but there wasn't a lot of support from what you would consider old school Black civil rights groups, those same groups that did come out for Trayvon Martin. So I'm pointing out that we are too conditioned to not support our people who fight back in these ways. And so we don't support or don't make this a cause celeb in our own community, that we need to come out and support this young man the way he needed support to even again have some kind of chance to survive this via trial. So there is going to be an appeal. There's always an appeal. Most appeals fail at this level. I'm sure there's going to be other appeals post this federal appeals. But unfortunately, at least for right now, what we're looking at is a young 17, 18-year-old kid who will spend the majority of his adult life locked up because of this racist system, which has a two-tiered system of so-called justice. And if a young Black person or any Black person stands their ground against a white person, they're going to suffer consequences, right? And that's what the system is telling us again and again and again. White folks can kill us at will and be protected by their own court system. If we stand up ourselves, as we should, because it is better to be alive and in prison than to be dead on the spot, that this justice system will not, in the overwhelming majority of cases, do anything fair and just to allow us to have the law on our side.
Part in this blurry picture, but to show us how unequal this whole system is, showing you Kason Allison or whatever, 18 years old. He got 10 years for stabbing a classmate guilty of criminally neglect homicide. And Carmelo stabbed another teen guilty of murder, 35 years compared to 10 years.
Yeah,
And that white
even
boy was
that
this
is
also, right?
Mm-hmm. What you said?
And again, I don't know the other story, but I just went, but really quickly, I want to be clear. Carmelo didn't walk up to some kid and stab him.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes,
Defense.
Carmelo was attacked by two
Yes.
people, two kids bigger than him, who came over to him while he was in a tent, staying out of the rain, minding his own business. And they came to him aggressively, telling him that he had to move. Other folks coming up to him, telling him he had to move, and he's sitting there minding his business. And then they put their hands on him, and he warned them, "Don't put your hands on me again." And they did it, and he protected himself. That is what happened in that case.
Yeah, he didn't just stab someone. But Kamal, I have a question about this jury, and I guess maybe where did Ear Doctor go? How in the world, and this is a rhetorical question, but I'm asking it for people who I'm sure want to know, how in the world do you get an all-white jury in the United States in 2026?
One, these jury pools in these places are overwhelming. You get in New York federal court, this was a state trial, of course. In New York federal court, what they call the Southern District, frequently, because of how they're carving out where they get their jury pools from, you will also get mostly all white juries. So, one of the old sayings when practicing in certain places that, a trial in the Bronx is different from a trial in Yonkers. And that is because you will get sympathetic Black folks, in particular, sympathetic Black women who see young Black men or Black men as defendants as their sons, brothers, mates, and are more likely than not to give a little bit of a benefit of a doubt, right? Because obviously, I hope no one believes anything about anybody coming into any of these jury pools or anything in life being completely neutral about anything, right? People have their own experiences and the rest of it. But this was a Texas town where, we found this out really early, that was well over 90% white.
Ooh.
And conservative.
That's like Maine.
Yeah, this was like a wrong place, wrong time incident. As in, once it happened, I think even the family and the white boy's family is well tied in, right? So he is somebody who knows people in the politics of that region, the judicial system. And they did what we were, again, I want to be careful about this, but what we feel like the Anthony family didn't do enough of, which again, I'm not saying could have determined the outcome. They went on the warpath in terms of trying to get a conviction. This white father actually came to Anthony's job a couple of times, attempting to get him fired. They started the larger white folks started a campaign accusing the Anthony family of misappropriation of funds that were donated to them, which was an early success, the funds that were donated. And they made it sound like even before the family got the funds, they tried to act like the family was spending the funds on houses and cars, taking pictures of people who were coming to their house and claiming that the cars belonged to the family, right? So they started early campaigns to try to support this a conviction or worse for the family, right? The family was constantly under surveillance, not only by authorities, but again, local whites who wanted so-called revenge. So there was a lot of things that were taking place in the background that was, putting this family in jeopardy since right after the incident happened. And again, I think they did like 1 or 2 early press conferences, and just felt overwhelmed by that part of the situation in terms of not having any background in it, not having training in it, feeling like the questions were hostile towards them. And I think it was hard for them to sort of pull together the idea of a real media strategy, particularly when their lawyer was trying to tell them to keep low, stay out of the public eye, that they have a good case because of this videotape evidence, which showed the kids approaching him in the tent. But of course, again, the idea of relying strictly on the court system. One of the things about movement lawyering is that you want to make it as public as possible. You want the judge to be under pressure. You want the jury to be under pressure. You want the prosecutors to be under pressure. You want this to make this not something that's taking place in some small courtroom where they feel separated and in control. You want to make them feel some pressure in terms of this outcome. It's not just about the 4 corners of the walls in that room. This outcome is going to have a bigger effect, right? And you're going to be in the spotlight as much as anybody.
Man, them jurors, judge, all of them all go to the same church. They know each other.
Mm-hmm.
In a town like that.
Yeah, right. They all know each other. Kids go to the same school.
The judge had a relationship, or it was acquainted with the victim's father, allegedly. So he should have stepped away from the case. Like, he should have recused himself. He shouldn't have been hearing the case. And Kamau, I don't know what it's called, because I don't know what it's called, but like there is a particular thing in the law in which an all-white jury is on some grounds illegal, or in some way a defense attorney can motion the court or ask the court to consider that this is an all-white jury, because there was a recent case in front of the Supreme Court about exactly this, and I wish I could call back to
it's called the Batson rule, where there is basically you can't purposefully, for reasons of race, knock somebody out of the jury pool or off a jury selection. And if it looks like that, if there were 9 black folks in a row who were the only black folks there, they were all knocked off. Because you can you can knock people off for no cause, but if you do it if it feels, again, these are rules which were in place. But the way things are operated within the court system under these old rules, if you did it continuously, then it could look like it was improper, or it could be considered improper, and the jury could be thrown out, or the appeal could be the case, or the trial outcome could be thrown out for that reason. And so I'm sure that's going to be part of what the appeal is. But obviously, if there's a certain percentage of the jury pool that is white anyway, then that's going to be the argument against it. Yeah. And these days, as we just seen in the Supreme Court, racial animus and or racial discrimination is no longer proven by sort of a preponderance of the evidence that would suggest that if the outcomes are negative towards a particular racial group, then that in and of itself can show harm and show some sort of racial discrimination. Those days are over, right? Now the courts are demanding that you got to catch somebody saying, I'm discriminating against that nigga. I'm about to get that nigga. I'm about to get that black person. I want this black person. Unless you got actual words or evidence of that nature. So it's not by the idea that folks have gathered that it's on its face discriminatory towards certain people because you look at statistics and so forth, particularly for black folk. Those that type of standard is being eroded continuously as we speak. And I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't looked into this recently, but I wouldn't be surprised that under those kinds of standards, thank you. Somebody said clear intent. That under those kind of standards, that even something like what's considered the Batson rule would go away because they're going to say nobody in the jury or the prosecutor themselves didn't say that he was targeting black people. He just so happened to pick all 12 black people and get them thrown off the jury. So again, that will be part of what the appeal is naturally, in terms of claiming that the jury pool was discriminatory on its face because it was all white. Does not necessarily mean that that's going to work.
That's like
3 hours on a guilty verdict. Come on,
3 hours.
Yeah, that's like if Zimmerman came to Atlanta and faced the jury in College Park. We're gonna get nothing but black juries. That's just what it is around here.
Oh,
anyway. So with that said, I need a little break. y'all cool with that?
Yeah. I'm just
damn.
gonna jump out the window right now. That's just never mind. I give up. No,
we're not gonna give up. Not here in the Remix Morning Show. With that said, let's get to a quick break and we're gonna come back with some more. Let's do it.
All right.
I know that sample right there. I wish that we could get together soon, someday. All right, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get put as that's red. What do we have here on Black Liberation Media? We got a bunch of dope shows. One show that just came on yesterday, Disrupt the Chaos with the good Dr. Rosa Clemente. With her guests, she had Fred Hampton Jr. So let's see what they were talking about yesterday.
The Black Panther Party would say, differences amongst the people reconcilable. However, difference between the people and the state are irreconcilable. There are certain lines that are crossed. You say, wait a minute, this is a different arena here now. You know, so some people like, you know, there are always going to be contradictions, you know, within organizations and families, within communities. You're going to always have differences. But then there are certain lines. You say, wait a minute, you're talking. This here is a different degree. And once we start recognizing that different degree, we say, wait a minute, this heads up on this. And that was an attempt to, you know what I'm saying, a minimum co-op, to co-opt in regards to legacy of the Black Panther Party. And then fast forward with the state dynamic, you know what I'm saying, because many people have a base or a elementary assessment. They say, well, you talk about the state, what do you mean the state? You know, but not just the government, police in uniform, the apparatuses, the media, you know, how because everything is political, the media, how do you report a situation? And fast forward to the last, issue.
Everything is political. That's what I got out of that one. So make sure y'all go ahead and check that one out. And Disrupt the Chaos with Dr. Rosa Clemente and her guest, Fred Hampton Jr. All right, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
The things you learned about, cause I don't need a girl who's 14. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah, Disrupt the Chaos. Make sure y'all check that show out. Make sure y'all come back later today at 11 a.m. as me and Kim Brown break down the songs of DMX. I gotta tell you, Kim, after listening to that, I had to go listen to some Ralph Tresvant. I needed some sensitivity in my life because it was too much.
To DMX, I feel the same way. I think because I'm old now. I'm like, ooh, that was a lot.
That was a lot. I had to listen to some peaceful music after that. I was like, oh man, I love my sisters. I would never call them bitches. I had to listen to that. I was like, God.
That's what, And now I remember why I was not initially a DMX fan. Like,
Yes.
he can rap. He's an excellent storyteller. He's a great performer. He does not care for the ladies. Okay, he does
No,
not.
Goodness.
he didn't. It did. Yeah, it's true. I
Oof.
cringed a lot, but I still I did.
That prison rap shit. I was like, God damn, he's telling every other nigga to suck his.
I know.
A lot of that.
I was wondering, Kim,
when it comes on in the car and I'm by myself,
yeah,
it's like on 10. Y'all gonna make it.
yeah,
I'm like, this is what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
stop being greedy. Y'all need to play that at rallies and shit. Like, y'all need to play that at when y'all having y'all events and whatnot. You'll be eating long enough. No, stop being greedy.
Yeah.
Give to the needy.
Some music is warrior music. He definitely makes warrior music.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all out here worried about these hoes. You need to be out here getting money, fighting somebody, shooting somebody. What made you pick DMX there, Kim?
Well, because he's dead, number one. And number two, somebody
Some
said
of
something
Kamal's
to us
favorite
about
artists.
somebody said was like, well, how come y'all can't do something from 2005? I'm like, I don't know about 2005, but okay, DMX, fuck it, you know. And he is considered a great rapper of his era. He had a hell of a run, you know.
Yeah.
So I think his contribution to the genre and to the culture is worth
Movies,
noting.
everything. No doubt.
DMX exploded. Like, where's his albums were like all-time sellers when they first popped out there.
Platinum,
People were like,
yeah.
and you know, again, the young whites were buying that shit too. Like his shit was exploding when DMX first came out, whatever. And I didn't even listen to him when he first came out. I caught it like 4 or 5 years later and shit. I was like, oh yeah, I thought it was a DMX song.
He gave you the mind state of how Onyx affected white people in hip hop. That whole rock and roll type rap, like that aggressive yelling and stuff like that. He even got a song with DMX, DMX and Onyx. Anyway,
Enjoyed that. Great
DMX show. Where was the white folks? It was nothing but niggles when I saw DMX. I didn't see Nuria White. Nuria.
Yeah. They were a little bit scared. They were a little bit scared.
I wouldn't agree
I think a couple white folks like maybe came out intending to go to the show, and then they saw that they were the only one. They were like, nope, that's all right. That's all right.
I mean,
Let's
who
go
else?
on down the street.
Wait for them to come to like someplace else, some other venue, some other white venue.
Who else could talk about same-sex fellatio and shooting somebody and killing somebody and then having you pray at the end of the show? I mean, it's only one DMX.
DMX, my redemption story. That's what Abdus said it was.
Jordan said 11.
Yeah, Abdus was like, that's that. He's like, that's that nigga redemption story. I ain't saying shit. You don't know. You don't know. Like, you're right. I don't. Let me. And I don't want to. No. Don't explain nothing. Don't. That's all right. I'm saying. Not me, but I'm just saying. I understand. It's just a nigga. Shut up. Shut up.
I like how Zensley pointed out the smooth way that your doctor said. He said same-sex fellatio. She said that was a name for that should be a good name for a band. I was like, that is a good name for a band, and that was really smooth the way he said that.
You could use the acronym instead of the band name, like immediately after you introduce the band, and then change the name to just SS.
Yes.
SSF. And for decades, have people wondering, what does it stand for? I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Let y'all get that out. Chat remixers, thanks again. Smash the button. It's the Black Liberation Media Remix Morning Show on YouTube. Go to the email, kids. Pick your email, any email. Shout out to Sister Erica. Sister Erica, it's cool. We appreciate all you do for the whole rest of the year. Enjoy your vacation. We'll catch you on the flip side. I dropped some stories in there. It doesn't really matter where y'all want to go. But there was a cross burning in Chicago. Did anyone hear that? Anybody?
Where did you send that one?
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm sure it's nothing. You know,
Hey, the old days are back.
I'm sure it's nothing to be concerned about.
Okay, I'm going to start it. I'm going to get it back to the beginning and start it right now.
What you see here, a large wooden cross burning in Grant Park. Kanika Carlton shared this video on Facebook telling the Associated Press that she was just driving home from running errands when she saw the cross engulfed in flames. Chicago police say that officers and Chicago Fire responded right around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. This is near Columbus Drive and East Balboa. Now, they did put the fire out, and thankfully no one was hurt. They're now investigating the circumstances and a motive behind this fire-burning cross. Cross burnings are historically considered symbols of hate, popularized by the Ku Klux Klan and other extremist groups. So this is certainly very alarming. What you see here are a large wooden
cross burning in Chicago's Grant Park. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it was an accident, right? I'm sure someone just accidentally doused that cross with an accelerant and set it alight.
They were just trying to burn wood. I'm sure the cross, like, it wasn't even a cross. This happened to be nailed that way. So no one should be alarmed at all. It just, it just was in that kind of thing. And oops, somebody kicked over a campfire, and that's how we got here. Like, I'm sure it's no symbolism, no warning.
And I'm sure the surveillance state didn't catch any of it, right? Like, isn't it funny how that shit fucking works? You can catch somebody with a pack of spearmint in their pocket leaving the 7-Eleven, but
with a ticket tomorrow, with a ticket in the mail tomorrow. You went
nobody
22
saw
miles.
Nobody saw the cross burner. Okay.
Yeah. Nobody saw the transportation of the lumber, which I'm sure you didn't transport the assembled cross in your car. Okay. Then I'm sure that the shot spotter and the flock cameras didn't pick up the sound of the hammering of the cross as you were assembling it with the nails and the hammer, right? Because the shot spotter supposed to catch things that sound like gunshots. So they didn't pick up that. Flock cameras didn't pick up the person's lifting up the cross and then building something else to stabilize the cross. That's not something that one person with just two hands can really do. The cameras didn't pick none of that up. Picking up the gas can and either dousing the 6-7 foot cross in the ground
All that was
or
missed.
splashing the gas on the erected cross. Nobody, and then lighting a match and the thing goes up in flame. Nobody, cameras didn't catch none of that.
And they're idiots, so it probably took them a while to light it. You know what I mean? So they're probably standing there for like at least 5 or 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get it on fire. So they're idiots doing that. And like, no video of any of that. Like these folks standing around the cross trying to figure out how to light it on fire and all that. Nothing, none of that.
2:30 in the afternoon. 2:30 in the afternoon. Real quick, Chicago check-in. James, I know you out there. I don't know Grant Park. What kind of neighborhood is it? I don't know what part of the city it's in. Is it West Side, South Side? Where's Grant Park at? But it was done to be noticed. And all jokes to the side, we have had a number of Black people in this country over the past year, I'll say maybe even longer than that, but who have been found hung and murdered under questionable, dubious circumstances. And whereas, I don't know how it went down during the Red Summer and all that. I don't know if the murderous white organizations were claiming credit for the lynchings, but it seems as though a lot of this that we have been historically going through, right? It's all creeping back up. Sometimes subtly, sometimes not so subtly. And that jumped out at me, obviously, because it's a burning cross, but also a burning cross in Chicago. Okay. Not to say that's unheard of or impossible, but I don't think of Chicago in that way. Perhaps silly on me. But what do you guys think? I mean, these more overt symbols of racist terror and violence. Not and it I understand it never went away. It's the same folk. I get it. But I'm not used to reports of cross burnings. It's right. So when we see this stuff flare back up, or what are we to interpret from that? What are Black Chicagoans to take away from that? Get ready.
I mean, I actually yes, it's a cross burning, obvious, clan racist reference, but this is Chicago and it is Grant Park in particular. And I don't know, I'm just kind of I don't believe in coincidences. And maybe I'm reaching cuz sometimes I do cuz sometimes things look like they, a little improbable, but maybe they're not. But I don't know that this doesn't have anything to do with the opening of the Obama Library. And because isn't that part because Grant Park is in the like wealthier kind of is that but I think that's where Obama had his acceptance speech the when he won the election. So I don't know. I'm just that's just how my brain works. Um that and if you and if
Performing Center, and the only reason I know is because I was there. So I don't think it was Grant Park where you talk about his first election or his second election. Or
whichever one it was, I don't know, whichever one it was. Yeah, I think Grant Park was one of those. He had his speech in one of those places. But I'm just thinking of because this the Obama Center is open now, and it's awful. It is awful because I mean this is in Black Agenda Report about the Obama Center is a monument to the more effective evil, and of course she talks about the legacy of Barack Obama, but the center itself and what it did in decimating that black working class neighborhood in Chicago was just obscene. It just obscene, just displaced people, and now the area around the center is of course too expensive for a lot of those working class and poor people to live. Now, it could could this be connected to Obama? And maybe, but maybe not. I don't at this point. Who knows? This just seems. I feel like you're on to something, Kim, when you're like, I don't think of Chicago like this. Yeah, not necessarily downtown Chicago. This is unusual, I think, for downtown Chicago, which is why I'm kind of thinking about the Obama angle, but I could be wrong. Maybe maybe it just is exactly what it looks like. But who knows?
Well, the working class whites have always been particularly upset by Obama, even and it has nothing to do with his policies, of course. It's just a representation of someone who is black, leading or being in charge of America, kind of thing. So remember, when Obama was elected president the first time, you had the largest upsurge in gun sales in the history of the country by white folks, right? So whether Obama really means anything, right, in terms of progress or change for the black community, it doesn't even matter, like, for them. So again, I'm not knowing in terms of tying the cross burning to the Obama library, but the possibilities are there because white folks have a particular angst about seeing this black man or any black man, and even though Chicago has a black mayor, so they get this angst of feeling their so-called country's being taken away. So it's just hard to say. But the other thing that that was the story. I'm moving a little bit towards the Obama's library, $850 million. I mean, the fact that someone, for me, would be tone deaf. Or like, what could you do with $850 million that wasn't a library to yourself? And again, yeah, every president does it. Why should he be any different? But why not if he claims to be different, right? Why not think he's a very smart man. He has to know that this is nothing but ego feeding, right? What could you do with $850 million to create a model of what you could do for Black folks, or what a Black town could look like, or what building Black institutions could look like? So it's crazy to me that people even, one, beyond the idea of all the presidents get this stuff and they raise this money, but $850 million, like it said, like on an homage to yourself. I mean, that's somebody who's clearly in a particular class who has no class interest whatsoever to the larger Black community. So destroying, Black neighborhoods or communities or gentrifying it, I don't give two flying fucks about that. He's got a monument to himself for $850 million that you puff his chest out about, which is all that matters in the world anymore. That's all that really matters anymore. Can you put up a monument of yourself? Can you make yourself big? So he has no care whatsoever about what could have happened with those kind of resources for the larger Black community, or what building it did to the Black community. Hell, I might go burn it. I'm just soaking on it.
Whoa. For entertaining purposes only. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's the difference? Like, I mean, Obama and Jay-Z are good friends. Didn't Jay-Z say gentrify your hood? Right? Like, there was a sustained effort amongst residents to prevent this library from being built in that community. Is it Washington Park? Washington Square, South Shore area, right? And the Obamas didn't care. Michelle Obama, y'all's favorite homegirl, round the way girl, she didn't give a fuck. Okay. And there is already a gentrification and displacement crisis amongst Black people, especially in South side of Chicago, are being forced out of their homes for all kinds of reasons, exorbitant property taxes, like it runs the gamut. So for your first Black president to offer a hand in that displacement, Obama can totally go fuck himself. Okay. I don't celebrate Obama in part because of shit like this. He don't care about the community. He don't care about the poors. And yet and still, he will be hanging on your mama's wall as the greatest nigga who ever lived. And I wish people would cut the shit.
Right next to MLK and JFK.
Get him out of here. Okay.
Yep. And let's not and let's not forget, this is the Barack Obama who learned how to talk to Black folks in that preacher cadence that he only talked to us in, because he never talked to white audiences that way. And when he talked to Black audiences in that preacher cadence, he was allowed to get away with telling us to pull our pants up and to be respectful, and nobody owes us anything, and stop having children out of wedlock and stop making excuses. But when he talked to white people, he talked like in his regular voice, and he talked about policy, things that actually mattered to them. And yes, he was the one who campaigned on the idea of hope and change. So yeah, he actually did present himself as very different from what you're used to. Vote for me. I'm just like you.
And even now during this period, what is he telling Blacks to do? To Black folks to do? Like, vote for the Democratic Party. Trust Americans. It's a sad moment in America, but we will continue. We will rise. We just have to have faith. We just have to vote. No new strategies, no new ideas, no fuck you, bitch. Trump is literally saying fuck us to his core, through every policy, right? Whether again he's the smart one in the group or not, right? He's the figurehead, and he's put all these other ideologues like Stephen Miller in place who overtly hate Black people. Overtly can't distinguish. Would never show up at a Knicks game because just too many niggas on court.
It's too many.
I can't be there. I just can't be there. Right? Like, I won't be there. So what are Obama's continuing to get rich? He's doing shows for Netflix. Both him and Michelle. So the fact that people still hold up this dude as this exceptional character in our community who's here to lead us towards something, it's just crazy. You know what I mean? Like, so we again, like I guess the theme of the first part of the show, like this comprador class, this miss leadership class, whether they're celebrities, whether they're politicians, they're all standing up for white institutions and continuing to suppress our ability to think about what liberation looks like, well, because they take over the public dialogue. And we keep thinking that the public dialogue should be, why won't they accept us? Why won't they let us do this? Why won't they include us in that? Why, let's fight to make sure that they open up the Oscars for us and kind of stuff like that. Fuck them.
Crazy. We had up to 310 people watching live. Big up to all y'all tuning in. A quick question: Who is how many more? How long is this term for Trump in the office?
2 more years, right?
January.
Oh, 2 more years.
Yeah.
Oh,
but the election is in November 2028, right?
Oh, okay. And who out of the people do we have to choose from?
Nobody.
Kimathi.
I'm speaking French over here. But what I'm saying is, like, who else is there to start putting in position? That's nobody.
I'm trying to douse all your flames.
I know. I'm trying to figure it out because
yeah. Who you got? You got Newsom. Just say Newsom from the California governor who had the Klansman, Charlie Kirk on his show, talking about how his son loves him. He loves Charlie Kirk. Charlie, right before he got shot in the neck, like the dude who's saying black women ain't smart, talking shit about black folks, constantly and on the liberals podcast and being praised by the so-called liberal who started breaking up homeless, not finding homes for homeless people, but breaking up the homeless encampments to show that he was tough on these public, these bad looking places in public. So I did, and he's like the leading candidate right now. You got Kamala thinking about another run. So you're gonna get some black girl joy out there. People telling us again that the reason Trump got in office was because we didn't vote for Kamala the first time. Where again, the overwhelming majority of black folks, black women and black men, voted for her. Who didn't vote for her? The overwhelming majority of white folks who voted for Trump, who still represent 70 to 60 something % of the electorate.
Because you need to start getting somebody prepared, like now.
No, the community needs to get prepared.
You sound like you're about to tell us to vote. Like, y'all need to get ready to vote.
Listen, dude, I look like I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like if it's nobody out here to go against him, then of course somebody like Obama is going to be like, vote Democrat no matter what. Like, who is out here that's going to face him? Who are we putting in a position that has our, agenda?
Who you talking about when you say we? Let's get that. Normally, I don't nitpick words.
Yeah, right.
But who do you mean by we? Because
I mean, as a people, we tell people who not to vote for, but I guess nobody tell who to vote for.
I don't want a master, so I don't care who's the next master. You understand? Like,
that's how I feel
on the plantation. Oh, I don't care. I mean, like I said, I vote out of ancestral guilt and obligation. I don't mean it when I go vote. I do go vote, but it doesn't mean anything to me personally. I do it because, they make me feel guilty if I don't go vote. But I go vote, but it's not going to do shit. So it don't matter who's the next master.
I guess it's putting somebody in there that's the most empathetic. I don't know. What are we looking for as a person?
The most you could get from empathy, then we're fucked. Like if Obama,
if that's the best we can do is to have somebody who won't hurt us as much.
Yes,
and that's exactly
our strategy.
And that has been the argument of actual leftists and anti-imperialists the entire time. That's the argument. So the lesser evil really is, we know you're still going to kill us.
Yeah.
You're just gonna kill us more slowly
Totally.
and give us a little lidocaine on one side of the wound, every other day of the week. And so if that's what people's bar is, I would like to think that the organizing that we're doing is going to help some people lift themselves higher than that bar, over that bar, and to demand something better than that. But for most people, we're going to have to come to terms with the fact that, yeah, a lot of people in this country really do want that, because all they want is their comfort for right now.
Are we
They're
still
they're
pushing?
not concerned with anything other than, am I going to survive this with all of my stuff intact? That's
So
it.
does it make sense to still push a Green Party, knowing that they most likely not going to get it?
I don't mind pushing a green. I just want some base building organizing that we know is going to take a while, but at least it puts us on the right track. Because then we're fighting for power. So I don't mind whether it's the Green Party, if it's outside the Democratic Party. I don't mind that as a tool or one strategy. What I'd hate is, again, we get into these emotional fits of putting our organizing into the next electoral season. And then it becomes this overwhelming idea of like, if only we had this other person in one of these offices, that somehow our lives would get better. No matter how many times it's been shown over and over again over the last 50 years, when we had, the highest level of Black elected officials ever in the country. And then the question becomes, can you at all do any kind of graph that shows that having those numbers of Black folks in these offices, or having these numbers of Democrats in these offices, had the impact on our community that made any difference, any tangible difference whatsoever in the power of the Black community to have sort of power over its lives and institutions? Is there any correlation whatsoever to that? And my simple answer is no, you cannot show me that. You can show me the Democratic Party gaining power. You can show me individual Black people having some power. But you cannot show me how the idea of putting Black folks and or Democrats in office have done anything to bring more power to our larger community. And for me, that becomes the thing, is like we act as if putting these faces in will give us power, and it doesn't give us power, right? It appeases us. It makes us feel, like you said, like we can go back to normalcy of like thinking about our stuff and having fun. But it doesn't give us power, which is why it could so easily be taken away. This dude did executive orders and took away 80% of what folks thought they had as power. The Supreme Court came up and said, you know what? Fuck a Voting Rights Act. Even like 10, 15 years ago, Congress re-up the Voting Rights Act. Was a congressional piece of legislation that had to be kind of approved, I think, every 20 years or something, or every decade. And Congress approved it. Again, an overwhelming majority of Congress felt obligated to approve. The Supreme Court gutted it even after that. So the Supreme Court saying that it somehow is subservient to the will of Congress or the will of the legislature, that's complete bullshit again. It's an ideological institution. And when particularly the right wing is in control, the liberals may manage it, but the right wing takes offensive action to another way in which they make policy happen. They began the gutting of the Civil Rights Act for whatever it was worth, whatever people thought it was worth, started gutting it 10, 15 years ago. And now the final sort of nail in the coffin has been what they've just done in terms of, you think you got power? No more Black districts. The Democrats aren't fighting for the Black districts again. You've not seen any major, these so-called people running for presidency, you haven't seen part of their campaign is to bring back majority, minority Black districts or anything of that nature, just like they didn't campaign to bring back affirmative action. They are happy with the idea that, okay, these white folks in the southern states get to redistrict. We're going to redistrict in these northern states and get more Democratic seats, not caring whether or not Black folks have more power, but whether or not more Democrats, mostly white Democrats, have more power. So the idea that Black people are going to be even in Congress, it's again, I'm hoping, again, as much as I hate these institutions because of how we look at them, hopefully too, people will start to see, like, wait a minute, all those Black folks who never did nothing for us anyway, that Congressional Black Caucus, instead of having 100 members or 70 members or 60 members, it's going to be down to 5 members.
Mm.
And it's going to be another 80 if the current is, whether or not there's a third reconstruction, as people like to say, that ain't happening for another 60 years, 80 years, 100. What are you going to do in all that time? If it does, even if it does happen, what are you going to do in all that time? So,
Man, we are fucked over here, man. I mean, because it's like America's a business. Let's take it back to my pizza place. All right, it's a business. If I know a lot of people love pepperoni and I'm not serving pork in my restaurant, then I'm gonna make turkey pepperoni, which we did. We have turkey pepperoni because we knew that the population that's what they wanted. So therefore, the president is going to serve the bigger mass of people. That's the whites. He's never going to be like, oh well, let me dumb down and let me serve these blacks. Let me serve them some regular shit. So they're always going to look at it as a business. And just like your man, brother Jamil said in here, we got to separate somehow because this is never going to go for us. They're not serving us. The police ain't serving us. The presidents ain't serving us. We're the minority. Why would you serve a minority?
The American Colonization Society, maybe not a bad idea of its time. They were trying to repatriate Black people in this country back to Africa and made the American colony of Liberia. But at its base level, let's hear them out. Like I'm not opposed. Come on. Are we expected to stay here?
Our only problem is that it's like 60 million Black folks. So we got to fight. We got to fight on all fronts. So I'm not mad at folks who go back to Africa. I think that's good as long as folks know and understand that the Africans that already been there. They want you to slowly integrate into it. They don't want you coming in being like I'm gonna bring my American attitude. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. Again, my big thing is that we got to organize for power wherever we at. And if we're here right now until we get back and get whatever, we got to organize for power. And that for me seems to be a strong missing element in again, not what all of us do, but the mainstream discourse of what we as Black folks need to do. It's the idea of having part of that being part of the conversation is no longer what it was. Like, we remember some of these shows we see in the 60s and 70s of like Kwame Ture and Angela Davis arguing with U.S. Congress people. The idea of Black liberation ideology was on the table for discussion and debate and part of the larger ethos of what was happening in the Black community. Again, that was destroyed. It wasn't just lost, it was destroyed. And we haven't won back the sense of like these arguments matter. But I think that's also because this is what I will blame on us. We haven't done enough to uplift the ideological foundations of the idea of what Black liberation is, or Black left ideas, institution building, organizing. We haven't done enough of that. And so we need to do more of that and do it in a more effective way so that these ideas matter more to the larger Black community, knowing that others are out there to suppress the ideas. But we have to do a better job of making these ideas part of a larger debate or discussion or argument around which way forward for our people.
Yeah, I agree. And especially if we're going to, continue to have this voting discussion, which of course we are, because, that this is why this country is where it is, because the populace is intentionally kept very unintelligent. And this shouldn't even be an argument anymore, that the United States is a country full of people with a serious literacy problem and critical thinking problem. And that's by design, it's intentional. So we keep believing that if we just vote right, we're going to fix this system, even though exactly what Kamau described in this lesser evil voting, it should highlight the complicity of the Democratic Party in what the Republican Party does. It should, because the question should always be, well, how do the Republicans get to just do all this stuff? Or if it was this easy for a Republican president to do all this stuff with an executive order, how come the Democrats didn't use the same tactics to do any of the things that we needed for us to survive, right? So these things are happening, and we organizers are saying, oh, okay, the contradictions are exposed now, but people are not willing to, people can't get there by themselves because they really don't want to believe that everything has been a lie. So we organizers do have to kind of come alongside people and kind of help them, kind of slow walk them into, this is why we say what we do about voting at the presidential level, because this is what you get no matter who you vote for. The outcome is the same, even though the processes are maybe different, might look different, might feel different. And this is a different discussion about voting than on the local level, I think. But yeah, that's why we have to have conversations with people, because this is, having your worldview kind of destroyed. That's kind of an existential thing where people are like, I don't even know who I am now if this democracy that I supposedly live in doesn't really exist. So yeah.
Welcome to the Remix Morning Show, y'all. Welcome to America. And welcome to Black Liberation Media. Listen, I appreciate y'all candor and back and forth, because these are different things that we need to figure out. And I don't know if we're going to figure out today, but we definitely need to talk about it. So, a lot of things coming down the line for CMB. Come out. What's going on?
Oh, so we got a couple of things that are happening. One that involves the ear docs. I wanted to mention it because we just signed him up to be the DJ. Speaking of like some models of development, alternative models. So one cooperative that we've been building for a number of years is our aquaponics cooperative. And so we are going to have a tour of our aquaponics cooperative, which is something that we built out of a shipping container. You can see a small picture here. So basically, this is a huge shipping container. On top of it, we put a greenhouse, and we're finally ready to open it up for people to see. So Saturday, June 20th, between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. If you are in Atlanta, please come out Saturday, June 20th. Food, drinks, music, no other than the Air Doc will be DJing. So if you are in Atlanta, please come out. I'm gonna drop this in the chat. If you're not in Atlanta, people, come tour and talk to folks from CMB about this cooperative, about our farm, about some other things that we got coming down the pike. We're building out our retreat center as we speak. We'll have some updates on that soon. So we are trying to do exactly what we talk about, is to create some of these model projects and some organizing projects that can at least point towards a way forward for our folks. We are up to 11 chapters, and international chapters I've talked about already a couple of times. By the end of this year, we're going to be up to 15 to 16 chapters across the country. We've got some huge things happening. One thing is happening continually too, and we get to talk about this, is that again, we seem to be always under attack. So our donation from Stripes have been suspended because of our support for Cuba.
Wow.
And so we take in donations upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 a month on that platform. It's been completely shut off to us at this particular point in time. So you cannot even donate to us right now through our website because they just shut that down. We don't know how long that's going to last. We're doing the whole argument and paperwork now to try to get it fixed. If not them, to leave and go to another platform. We did not get a chance to talk about this, but this is something maybe we can talk about in the next couple of weeks. The FBI just raided in Ypsi, Michigan, a small area in Michigan. 9 different Palestinian activists, to my knowledge, have been arrested and charged with RICO conspiracy charges, one of which is a former member of CMB. So we are watching that closely. We're organizing with folks on the ground there, trying to offer support. The charges are basically around the folks who tried to do encampments during the height of the Palestinian struggle after the genocide started. If you read the indictment, it is a joke. Again, this is one of these indictments that's purely political. That people saying that they're going to shut down the campus is being called a conspiracy. That people are trying to get the Michigan state. I might be misstating the
Two
name
of
of the
them, I
college.
think it was University of Michigan.
University of Michigan, that folks are trying to
Mhm.
get the University of Michigan to divest from Israel. That is part of the charges, that they're doing direct action to get them to divest, is what they're being charged. So organizing is basically, again, being put on trial or being called illegal. So folks keep a close watch on that. We're keeping a close watch because our folks have been involved in some of those actions and some of that work. So again, the state comes after those who are the state and corporations come after those who are somewhat effective, not totally effective. I'm not suggesting anything that we're at any place where we're some threat to the state, but the fact that we're raising sort of a level of organizing and supporting a lot of groups on the ground that folks don't even know about, a lot of different actions that folks don't know about, acting as a fiscal conduit. I'm saying all this to say that again, we're not some some greatly financed organization that has all the tools necessary to defend ourselves against these actions when they come. So this is asking people to be on the lookout, to try we'll figure out other ways for folks to support, but to understand that even the small things that we do, as well as some other organizations like us, but the small things that you do can generate repression from the state and or corporate operators. But that is not a bad thing. So I'm not putting that as a bad thing. What I'm saying is that when that happens, that means at least some part of our work is being acknowledged and is a little scary for them. So that means we have to do more of it, no matter the consequences. And that's what I want to get out there.
All right, good work. And speaking of organizers, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow as they tackle the rise and fall of Chris Smalls, another organizer there.
What fall?
There ain't no fall. That Jacobin article. I need to come on here tomorrow so I can cuss these people out too?
You got the link.
Jacobin article is trash.
Okay. You might have to come on, Jackie.
He just came to Atlanta and did a whole talk. I mean, this dude just got arrested. I mean, again, I don't know Chris Smalls that well. In fact, I don't really know him at all. But I've seen him put his body on the line. I mean, literally, he's gotten beaten up by Zionist forces, doing things that other folks have not risked. Getting whether or not it was a spotlight action or not, but getting arrested at the Met or whatever at the gala. But I've seen this dude put his body on the line, right? So I don't know. I have no idea what this is about per se. Jackie could talk about it more. I don't know what the fall is.
I just seen it. Okay, I just seen it in Erica Brown put it down in there. That was being one of the things.
Yeah. There was no fall. You got to read that Jacobin article. It is that black man can't catch a break.
There it is. So Jackie, what you got coming up on Darker Than Blue?
So Darker Than Blue. Huh?
I said your doctor didn't read the article either. He just out here making thumbnails. Starting shit.
That's true. But I was gonna.
That's what I do. What you do, Jackie? Darker Than Blue.
Well, Darker Than Blue tomorrow. Because today's Thursday. Darker Than Blue tomorrow. I think we're talking about Bolivia, with our comrade Clau. For a few minutes, the first part of the show. Second part of the show, we'll be talking more about the World Cup. And our action today and our continued action throughout the World Cup. And then at 6:00 in an extended dark room, we will be hearing from some good people from Trinidad and Tobago about the uprisings and issues going on there. And this afternoon, right after this show, as soon as we click this button, we're going to be outside. We are going to be outside, the other side of this organizing that you just heard from Kamal. We're going to be outside talking to people like we always say we have to do. So at noon, we'll be at the State Department demonstrating in support of Cuba, demanding that the additional sanctions be lifted and the aggression against Cuba ends. And then at 2:00, we'll be at the National Mall at the opening of the broadcast of the World Cup, the first games of the World Cup. So we'll be agitating on both ends today.
Nice. Organizing at its finest. And Kim Brown, hide your queens, hide your kids. We'll be doing DMX at 11 o'clock today. So
I was gonna ask you, maybe can we punt till next week? Because I was so engrossed in his albums, because I never really listened to DMX's music because I didn't like him all that much. But I liked what I heard, I guess. But anyway, I didn't get too deep on his biographical information, so I feel not prepared.
oh well, I don't mind because it's a nice day. I wouldn't mind going to the park and working out. So
Yeah.
we'll see y'all next week when it comes to
Yeah, let me figure out with the life of Earl. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a little
what
deep into
what come
Earl.
out. We gotta go.
No, you
What?
just promised me a little DMX and just like
I
that.
know, I know. This is dealing with Kim Kamal. I've been doing it for 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, it'll be ready when it's ready.
Y'all
You
gonna
know,
make me lose my mind.
Up in here.
Up in here.
I done spent
Come
time
out.
getting some stuff prepared. It's all good. We wait till next week. Thanks, Kim.
It'll still be prepared and ready. Look at you. You're
You're
just
right.
early. You're ahead of
Yeah.
the schedule.
I always
That's
am.
how crazy you are.
Always
Come
am.
out. Do y'all have a P.O. box? I feel like I'm gonna have to do you like my granny used to do me when she would send me birthday gifts. So she would send me a money order. It's like y'all got a money order, a P.O. box or a UPS store box.
We take checks. We take checks.
No, I don't want to send y'all a personal check. I'm gonna send y'all a money order that does not have my name on it. I'm just kidding.
That's how you do it.
She gonna send you to Western Union. You remember that shit back in the day? Going to Western
I do remember Western Union.
Yes.
There's like
Yes.
a whole line. Everybody getting their money. Pay they rent that month. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
No.
big up. This is the Auntie and Uncle show, the Remix Morning Show. I mean, we can continue this
Necessary,
afterwards.
ear doctor. Hold on. As you see, technology is not always the hot shit, right? Technology can turn around and bite you in the ass anytime it feels like it. That post office and that money order, Stripe can't shut that
Good
down.
way to send money. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. We figure it out here, right here on the Remix Morning Show. Go figure out the rest of your life, everybody out there, and we'll continue to organize and do what we do here. Have a great one. That is Kamal K. Frank and Jackie Lukeman, Kim Brown. I'm the ear doctor. Peace out. It's the Remix Morning Show. Y'all. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.